Live from FedEx Forum, this is The Odds Couple, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Odds Couple.
Single on Lang.
Presented by Caesars
Doing
Sportsbook.
the damn thing.
And the Caesars Sportsbook app.
Love apps.
Is that a new intro they just played?
Yeah.
That was new, right?
Yeah, it's a new one.
That's nice. I'm Lang Whitaker. I'm not Rob Fisher. Rob Fisher's on an airplane somewhere winging it to the West Coast right now.
Yeah.
With the Memphis Grizzlies getting ready for Game 6 of the playoff series against the LA Lakers. So no Rob today. But here with me I have two other fine gentlemen. One of them's on his phone right now. That's John Roser.
Yes, that's me. I'm here.
He's getting ready for some free picks
Clears.
later.
Yeah, free
And,
picks. I don't really have any picks,
He's
but
got his
yeah.
NBA paint hoodie on. And CJ is over there wearing his typical colorful things.
Yeah, just Ninja Turtles. You know how I do.
But
I
his
got the
shirt's
matching
not. His
socks.
shirt's more than Ninja.
Oh shoot!
Turtles.
I put on the wrong
Nickelodeon. It's
shirt.
just a bunch of Nickelodeon.
I put on the wrong shirt.
Nobody noticed.
I got a gray Ninja Turtle
mean,
shirt that goes with the hat, and I put on the wrong.
It's a
damn
pretty
shirt.
good day if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you haven't realized you got on the wrong shirt until
Yeah.
now. You know, like either that speaks a lot about your coworkers or the job you have or the life you live. Like it's not bad.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Got up early this morning, so I assumed the gray shirt.
It was a late night
Ninja.
last night
Yes,
with
very
the
late.
Lakers and the Grizzlies and all that. So, but welcome to the Odds Couple, presented by Caesars and the Caesars Sportsbook app. And Roser, I was thinking about this. We usually start with what we've learned this week. We always introduce the Caesars Sportsbook and the Caesars Sportsbook app, and we talk about how much we enjoy it. And you always say,
I love apps.
he always says he loves apps.
I do.
This made me think about this because I went to a restaurant to meet a friend for lunch yesterday and they had a lot of apps. What's the number one app of all time on the menu, restaurant app?
I mean, mozzarella sticks is the first thing that comes to my mind.
Calamari came to my mind. Like
Loaded cheese fries.
Yeah, cheese fries are messy.
Okay.
The spinach and artichoke dip,
That's a
you know,
good
chips
one.
and
That's a
salsa,
good
chips
one.
and queso, like that kind of.
Yeah.
Well, wings, boneless wings. I know we've taken the wings and made them
more of an entree.
but
There's
they
no such
started
thing as boneless
appetizers.
wings.
And I don't even feel like
Chicken
chips and
nuggets
I
then.
don't feel like chips and salsa or chips and dip are even like appetizers because like some places like Mexican places they just give them to you for free, so it's
True,
not even
you don't
like
have to order it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even have to order it. I think the mozzarella sticks are the
Ultimate app.
I think that's the ultimate app.
Nachos? What are we doing with nachos?
That's a meal.
Nachos, yeah, it feels like a meal now, like
Especially if
potato
you get
skins. But I feel like
Potato skins is a good
But
one.
I feel like mozzarella sticks are above
Potato skins have also kind of gotten like.
It's kind of making me want some
aged out.
mozzarella sticks, by the way.
Potato skins were a big deal like 20 years ago. See, it feels like I don't really see those that much on.
No,
menus.
you don't.
I don't
see
get
them.
as excited about seeing those on menus.
Probably because there's you don't see them as much because there aren't as many TGI Fridays anymore.
R.I.P. to the homies.
R.I.P. Is it still open? TGI Fridays is still
Yeah,
around.
I'm sure
isn't
it is.
Where?
Yeah, I'm sure it
I
is.
don't
Where's
know.
one? There
we used to
used
go
to be
like
one.
once a month. My
Bro, if
family
there
would
are
go.
Applebee's still open, there's TGI Fridays open somewhere.
There used to be one downtown and one in Wolf Chase, and both of those have been closed.
Oh, the Wolf Chase closed?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I used to shut down the TGI Friday and Wolf Chase.
Wow.
TGI
damn.
Fridays.
Okay.
Had a buddy of mine bring her own liquor into TGI Fridays, like bottles plural, and was making her own drinks
Thank
in Fridays.
thank God it's Fridays.
Thank God.
Thank God it's Friday.
I was watching a documentary the other day about the band Big Star from Memphis.
Yeah.
This rock band that's sort of overlooked by a lot of people, but they're a very influential band from the 70s.
yeah, I know they are.
And it said that they used to hang out in Memphis at TGI Fridays in this thing. And I was like,
Overton Square.
but I was like, why would they hang out at a TGI Fridays of all the places? Like, it seems like, there's a lot of cool places
Yeah.
here. So I thought, well, maybe TGI Fridays is from Memphis, or maybe it was one of the first ones or something. And I Googled it. And no, it was not. It was just a chain restaurant. I guess they liked hanging out at TGI Fridays.
They were fans.
People like TGI Fridays. Anyway, made me think about apps. Hey, we don't bet on the NBA because we're not allowed to.
Yeah.
And we know the rules. There's no tipping, no fixing.
Yes.
Something
stuff
else.
like that, yeah.
So we don't bet on the NBA. But the NBA playoffs are in full swing right now. And there have been a cavalcade of NBA playoff games. And I mean, there's already teams that are gone at this point. Last night we saw Giannis get the knockout, and the Bucks get knocked out by the 8 seed Miami Heat. Grizzlies and Lakers are still going at it. There's a lot of series still going on. We have a bracket here we can look at to kind of take a look at where things stand at the moment across the NBA. And I don't know. Do you think there's any like interest still left in this thing to bet? I mean, not that we would bet on it.
Right.
Right, absolutely. We wouldn't.
No,
we wouldn't tip
we're
or
not
anything
allowed
like
to.
that.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of interesting series still. The
What's the most
matchup-
interesting one left?
I mean, the
one
Grizzlies,
left?
Grizzlies, Lakers, Kings, Warriors.
Kings Warriors.
Kings Warriors.
Kings
Do you think that's more interesting than Grizzlies?
My dad called me. We had this conversation early this morning. He's calling the Grizz Lakers series the choke series because either way it goes, whoever loses choked it away. The Grizzlies were the 2 seed going up against the 7 seed. They lose, they choke it. Lakers with LeBron James up 3-1. He's saying if they let the Grizzlies come back and win after being down 3-1, they choked it away. And he's saying, like, yo, take all GOAT status away from LeBron if they blow this series. But so I think that from a back and forth type standpoint, though, it is the Warriors and the Kings because they've just been trading blows game after game after game. Whereas the Lakers-Grizzlies series, the Lakers got out to that 3-1 lead and seemed to look like they were in control up until last night.
The Grizzlies have been basically the zombie Grizzlies, though.
Yeah.
This whole series, they're missing everybody, and Ja missed a game. You know, like there's been injuries and all this stuff. I think like the Warriors feel like they just got Wiggins back and they're like full power, and you know finally everyone's healthy and
the
they're
Kings
good.
have been healthy the whole time, relatively speaking.
No, the Kings are like one of the top 3 teams in the league in terms of like fewest games missed due to injury this year. They've been really good this year, so that feels like a full power series.
Yeah, the Kings Warriors series I think is probably a little bit more interesting because up until last night we hadn't had a road win in that series, and so it's been 2-0, 2-2. Nobody had that 3-1 lead, which seems very insurmountable. Even though it's not insurmountable, it has happened before, but it does seem like it is. Whereas the Lakers had a 3-1 lead on the Grizzlies. So I think, the Warriors finally going and taking a road game last night in that series, it's like, well, okay, wow, how fast the tables have turned in that one,
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I would say that one's probably the more interesting
What
one.
team were you guys most disappointed in the first round?
The Bucks.
Yeah, everybody will say the Bucks. So I'm just gonna
Cavs?
I'm just gonna be different and say the Cavs, because not only did you lost to the team that was the other suitor for Donovan Mitchell, and they said, nah, that's too much of a price to pay, and they beat the hell out of them.
They did.
And it could cost our old buddy JB Bickerstaff his job.
You think so?
Yeah, it could.
The Cavs don't feel a little ahead of schedule? Just a
Not
little bit.
because you don't make that trade for Donovan Mitchell. Like that Donovan Mitchell trade is we're trying to, but again, it's the same thing as the Timberwolves trading for Rudy Gobert when it's like your timeline should be with Darius Garland and Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
And then you make a Donovan Mitchell trade to try to be awesome now, but those two guys are not there yet in their development where Mitchell is. And it's similar to what the Timberwolves did, that they're just like, we're going to go get Rudy Gobert. Well, like, everything the Timberwolves need to do needs to revolve around, okay, what do we do to put the best thing around Anthony Edwards? And sometimes it's where you see. That's right. The timeline is a big thing with how the Grizzlies talk about.
That's true. The T-Wolves are also that timeline gets mucked up because Cat is involved too, and you're like, oh well, he's sort of, this is time for him. We got to go get something for him now. Anthony Edwards is also there, and you're like, all right, well, this is clearly going to be the guy 3 years from now, 4 years from now. So you're trying to keep them both happy. I feel like with Cleveland, it's a lot easier to see that these guys are really young. This is a young team.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to cost JB his job. If anything, it might. You got to figure out a way to fix that roster. Mobley even said after the game something about it was Jared Allen who said like the lights were kind of bright for us.
Yeah, and that one of the hopes could be like, hey, next year Evan Mobley's going to be 1 year better. He'll be a year older and he'll be better. But yeah, he was not ready for that.
Did the Cavs get to the playoffs last year?
They were in the play-in.
Okay, so it feels like, I don't think they did. I'll double check that.
They were in the play-in. They lost to the Hawks.
It feels like this is their first time, lights being too bright for them. This is their first time. This group's first time together being in the playoffs in the postseason. And so they're kind of fumbling about trying to figure it out. And not only would the hope be for the Cavs, hey, Evan Mobley takes another step forward and continues to grow, but hey, we've got that knot on our head now, that lump, those bruises from a playoff run. We know better what to expect.
For all the talk about how Mobley's like this, defensive player of the year candidate, and he's so great on offense and all that stuff. Like Mobley and Jared Allen kind of got dominated by Mitchell Robinson in that series, and I would say Brunson pretty much outplayed Donovan Mitchell in that series too. So if you're a Cavs fan, you've got the pieces there, but you might have to have a little bit of patience. I don't know. The Clippers, we're not Minnesota. We talked about the Clippers. I think injuries are clearly the issue there.
You rest these guys, and listen, I don't want to say anything ill of Kawhi. He's dealing with, I don't know if it's injuries or family stuff. The story about his sister is absolutely wild, and I can get somebody wanting to step away because of that. But if you're resting guys during the season, nobody's playing back-to-backs. If it's 4 and 5 or something like that, you're only going to play one of those 4 games, that type of stuff. You're resting people to get them ready for this time of the year, and they're still not ready to go. So it's unfortunate that bodies break down like that. We've seen a lot of great players do that. We've seen Penny Hardaway have that happen. Bill Walton had that happen. Greg Oden. Like, the list goes on and on and on of dudes whose bodies just give out on them. And eventually, even though you gave up a lot to get Paul George and you've built this thing for the Clippers around having those 2 pieces, eventually you got to move on from them and say, hey, their bodies just can't hold up.
You knew going in. It's not like you were bringing in 2 guys who had played 82 games 5 years in a row. Like, these were guys who had injuries throughout, especially Kawhi, the last, leading up into this.
Paul George shattered his whole leg, right?
Yeah, but that's like, to me, that's different. That's not like having like a chronic, muscle or something, or ligament injury or something like that. Like, that's, I think Kawhi's is more like something he's had these nagging things.
The
constantly.
knees are bad.
Yeah,
the knees are bad. They are. The knees are just
like
bad.
Me. It's like my own constitution.
Did the Spurs mess up your knees also?
Yes.
Okay.
Greg Popovich ran me into the ground early on.
Yeah.
And I still hold it against the Spurs organization. Next round, what matchup are you most looking forward to?
Miami,
New York.
Miami, New York is awesome. Boston, Philly. Although I think the Celtics will, especially because we don't know with Embiid's injury. And dude, are you really going to trust James Harden as it gets more and more in the playoffs? I don't.
Weirdly, I like Philly. I love Embiid.
I love Embiid
Embiid's
too.
the best player to me in the NBA. On both ends of the court,
but if he's hurt,
if he's hurt, it's a different thing.
I mean,
but if he can play, and he talking about guys who were injured all the time, that was Embiid in college, and coming when he got to the NBA, and there was all this talk he's not going to be able to. He's become pretty durable for that team.
Except he's hurt right now.
Now he's hurt. Yeah. So if he's not able to go, that's a different thing. But I love Embiid. And I think Philly's Philly's like a playoff team. Like they have all these older guys that give them a day or 2 off in between every game. They're going to be okay. And they're like Philly to Boston, they're not going to have to travel, really.
No, they're not going to have to travel. I mean, it'll be a fun series just because there's a rivalry there. I tend to think Boston will handle them, probably, I'd say 6 games. I don't know. It could go 7, but I think Boston will win. Miami, New York, though, because it's going to be like an old school. Yeah. You got the Thibodeau who coached Jimmy Butler in Chicago and Minnesota. On the West side, I mean, if the Grizzlies can get through and the Warriors do, I mean, I've said I'm rooting for the Warriors against the Kings because if the Grizzlies win, I want to play the Warriors. I want to play them.
Although I am rooting for the Kings against the Warriors.
I don't really have a ton of interest in Denver and Phoenix.
That's my favorite one. Why not?
Why is that your favorite one?
Because of the shenanigans that popped off. I rank the playoff matchups by, hey, which one of these is most likely going to lead to a fight? And after we saw Nikola Jokic take out, was it Cam? He sideswiped Cam, busted his nose. Devin Booker and Jokic get into it, and Jokic got that crazy, where's he from, Serbia or something like that?
Yeah.
He's got that crazy Serbian stare going on.
He definitely does have that.
And is ready to try and okay, Devin, if you want to go, we can go. And
if you want to do this, we can do this.
That physicality, I think, will be there in that series. Also, it's just going to be the matchups in it. Jamal Murray, Devin Booker, Gordon, and Kevin Durant. What's going to happen with Chris Paul? Is Chris Paul going to be able to get over that hump? Not to mention Jokic and Ayton and all that entails.
What's the matchup with Chris Paul? That they don't have a point guard.
Really. Chris Paul and the referees. Chris Paul and Destiny. Chris Paul and Fate. Come on,
man. It is going to be
to
interesting to see because Kevin Durant and Devin Booker both averaged 43-plus minutes per game in that first round, and no pair of teammates have averaged that much in the first round since Damian Lillard and Nicholas Batum did it. So it's going to be interesting to see, can Phoenix keep that up? Yeah, Batum, back when he was good. It's going to be interesting to see if the Suns can keep that up. and those guys don't wear down if they can stay healthy, because they both have had injuries this year.
All right. Well, is there anything else we learned this week before we take a break?
No.
Nothing.
XFL, got to fix that. Got to fix that rule.
We'll get to the XFL.
Okay, well, that's what I learned.
How
You can't have a 4
you know what?
16
One thing I
man.
did learn. So I was thinking about this in the context of the Miami game last night, the Miami-Milwaukee game. At the end of the game, we all saw Jimmy Butler got that bucket right at the end of regulation to tie it. If that was the NFL, Jimmy Butler would have got a pass interference penalty.
Oh, push off. It was absolutely two hands
he decked
extended.
Pat Connaughton on the passes in the air. But because no call was made, if you're the coach, if you're Budenholzer, you can't challenge because there was no call. In the XFL, you can challenge plays like that. I'm thinking we need to get that in the NBA. So you say, hey, this dude shoved me. You didn't call anything. Well, sorry, we can't do anything. Well, now review it.
We've seen similar plays like that pop off where because nothing was called, there couldn't be a
You can't
review.
do anything.
Who clobbered that dude on the pass interference play? Saints. Was that Saints Rams?
That was not a missed call though. Wasn't it Lattimore?
Yes.
Yeah,
So it
but-
was Saints and somebody and just grabbed him. Just
Yeah.
clear pass interference, and because nothing
I
was
still
called,
contend
just
that
let
was
it go.
no call though. That was a good call.
That was pass
It was just
interference.
incidental. It was
no, it's
nothing.
incidental. My tail.
Saints fans like to complain about that call, but they know in their heart of hearts it was incidental contact. There was no real. It was a flop, if anything. Anyway, we're going to take a break here on the Odds Couple. We're going to come back and talk more about the NFL because tonight is the NFL draft. I think the first round's tonight. Yeah. And then the next rounds are the next day. And then the next day, it goes on for like a week. But it starts tonight, and we're going to figure out how we can bet and make some money off this thing. You're watching the Odds Couple here on Grind City Media, presented by Caesars and the Caesars Sportsbook app. What has become associated with basketball college championship is the one shining moment. The song at the end of it where they do all the highlights of everything and it brings you to tears. What is the best song about basketball?
Space Jam by Quad City DJs. That's my number one. Like
good
if
one.
I think like basketball song,
I'm going to go number one, and also a song from a movie. He Got Game.
IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow. August 24th at FedEx Forum with special guests Marcus King and Alan Stone. On sale now at livenation.com. Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow.
HBCU Huddle with me, CJ Hurt, and Mike Wallace has all of your HBCU football, sports, and culture needs covered. We discuss the hottest stories weekly across the black college sports landscape, including the SWAC, MEAC, Tennessee State, Lane, Lemoyne Owen, and all the black colleges in between. New episodes drop every Thursday, and you can stay connected with the latest stories and discussions about your favorite HBCU by going to grindcitymedia.com, selecting the podcast folder, and clicking on the HBCU Huddle tab. HBCU Huddle is the spot for all your black college sports and culture needs.
Happy belated Air Max Day. It's topic number one.
Yes.
Show us the Air Maxes. Do we have favorites, you guys?
So my favorites is for sure the Air Max 1s.
Yep.
I'm an Air Max 1, Air Max 90, Air Max 95.
I don't have any pair of Air Max 95s.
Really?
I kind of regret it because, I mean, as a sneakerhead, you should have a pair of 95s.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the Odds Couple, presented by Caesars Sportsbook on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Now's when I read about the watch party, and I can't find the live read in my notes, so I'm just going to make this up. Memphis, come to the watch party at Forest Bluff Park for Game 6. Friday night, 9:30 p.m. Game starts at 9:30. You can get there early. I'll be there an hour early to do the Grind City Pre-Wine live from Forest Bluff Park. Downtown, you can park right next door. I went to the one for Game 4. I was there for that one. You can park right outside the Pyramid at the Raymond James or whatever the parking lot is right there, $5. They have live music. They have the Grizz Girls. They have the Claw Crew. There's the Showboats had a little thing set up.
Food trucks will
Lots
be
of
there.
food trucks.
Yep.
DJ Mike T was playing. BLJ was there. It was a good time. So you can go Friday night, starts at 9:30, watch Grizzlies versus Lakers. 2 big screens, sunset on the Mississippi behind it. It was beautiful. Hopefully it's not as cold for Friday night as it was the other night when I was there. But
went to all of them last year. It's a whole lot of fun. Bring your lawn chairs so you can have some place to sit.
Bring a chair.
Yeah, like you said, get there early so you
There's
can
some
get out a
limited
good
seating
spot.
available, but bring your own chairs.
Very, very limited.
Bring your own
Bring your own chairs.
Or a
have a
blanket.
good time. Blanket. Get down there and have a nice little picnic. It's fun.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back to the Odds Couple, presented by Caesar Sportsbook and the Caesar Sportsbook app. I'm Lang. He's John. He's CJ. And tonight, it's the day we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
The Shield returns.
Yes.
It's the NFL draft. Who knows where the NFL draft is?
KC.
Got it right off the bat. Kansas City. Where was it? Vegas last year?
I love the fact that the NFL is taking the draft
I do
on
too.
the road. It's
I
great.
love that. I wish the NBA would
You don't
do
miss it being at Radio City Music Hall or wherever it was?
We've seen it there so many times. I'm sure eventually I'll be like, okay, put it back there for a little bit. But no, it's great to see all
I wish
these fan
I wish
bases.
the NBA would do it.
Vegas, Tennessee, the Nashville got it once. Kansas City. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah. I wish the NBA would do it.
Why is it in Kansas City? Just because they don't have a new stadium? Usually it's where there's like a new stadium or something. Is it just because they're
the
good?
Titans didn't have a new stadium.
Titans didn't have a stadium. They got they got their $2.1 billion stadium budget approved.
Yeah, they did it in
today.
Chicago. Like the first time they moved it, they did it in Chicago. It's not like
true.
Soldier Field's been there forever.
I'm assuming they're just treating this like you would any other neutral site sort of venue. Who let the cities bid on it, and then the winning city gets to host.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Carolina Panthers have the #1 pick in the draft.
Bryce Young.
You think that's the pick?
It is the pick, yeah.
Are we sure about that?
Yes.
It's minus 1,000.
It's more than that
There
now.
were rumors going around that Will Levis was telling people he was going to Carolina.
Yeah, it's more than that now. It's like minus 5,000.
I cannot get out of my head Will Levis driving
so
down
mad
the
as he
field,
said this.
down 3-17, a chance to go 10-17 against Tennessee. And y'all remember how bad that Tennessee Volunteers secondary is.
Yeah.
It was abysmal. It was horrible.
Stetson Bennett carved him up.
Will Levis is supposed to be a stud. He's supposed to be a dude. And he goes out there on the Tennessee half of the 30 and throws a pick 6. Get the hell out of here. No. If you draft Will Levis in the first round, you're making a big-ass mistake, let alone 1 overall. What would possess you to take a quarterback like that, of that caliber,
There's one
number
thing.
1 overall? What?
Desperation. And here's, like, I'm on the record. I've been saying this now for, what, 8 months? Since the fall, since the SEC season started.
Yeah, because I was on the Will Levis bandwagon,
And I talked you off of it.
Yes.
I warned you about this Will Levis
Yes.
bandwagon. I said we need better seatbelts. We need better safety protocols on this bandwagon. Nope. And you started watching the Will Levis show, and you realize, okay, I got to pump the brakes.
I'm out.
Yeah, this is not good. I've been saying since then, like, Will Levis is Mitchell Trubisky. He's that Sam Howell. He's that great college player who everyone's like, oh, well, doesn't have the right talent around him. It's going to transfer. Once he gets to the NFL, just wait. You can see it. I don't think so. I also feel that way about another quarterback in this first
Anthony
round.
Richardson?
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. No, you can't be a mediocre quarterback at Florida, because I know one thing for certain about college football. If you're at one of the Florida schools, there is talent on that roster.
Yes.
And you can't be a mediocre
Even
Florida
Kyle Trask was pretty good at Florida, and he couldn't make it in the NFL.
You can't be a mediocre Florida quarterback or a mediocre SEC quarterback at Florida and have me believe that at the next level, when there won't be that large of a talent gap between you and the competition, you're going to all of a sudden become good. No.
Okay, so let's go back to 2018.
Okay.
2018, drafted in the first round were Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen. Where else are the other quarterbacks? Josh Rosen and Lamar Jackson, right?
All right.
Outside of Bryce Young, all 5 of those guys were considered better prospects than any of these other guys tonight.
Yeah.
And think about who are the
Rightfully
2 that are worth the crap. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are the only 2 in there worth the crap.
Yeah.
Rosen's out of the league. Darnold sucks.
Yeah.
And Mayfield he sucks too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
eventually, and I keep saying this every time we end up talking about the quarterback position, I just come through and shit on quarterbacks. And I don't mean to sound like that, but eventually, man, you can't be so desperate, as you pointed out, Lane, that you're willing to take bad to mediocre quarterbacks in the hopes that all of a sudden something happens and they become elite. That's not how that works. Just take good football players, take
Yes.
another position of need, And because I guarantee you, if you're in the first 17, 18, maybe even 20 picks, you've got some big old glaring needs.
Yes.
Take you a position of need outside of quarterback and just wait your turn.
I
or
agree.
have a roster built, because that helps a young quarterback out, having a roster built around them. Have your roster built so that next year or the year after that, you can go through and get a good young quarterback and let them grow with the roster.
I agree.
Kimball, could you put the graphic back up there? It was Will Levis, and then who was this? It was C.J. Stroud second, right? Or Will Levis is second. C.J. Stroud's third to go first overall. Do we have one for the second overall pick? Yeah, there we go. I mean,
Tyree Wilson, yeah, that could happen.
that's the Texans drafting number 2 overall. I mean, I don't think they go Will Levis. I wouldn't be surprised if Will Anderson goes there.
Here's something else. I brought this up where this draft, it very much so when I see it's not the mocks, but the rankings of the prospects.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter who's drafting. This is just ranking. These are the best football players in this draft, regardless of their position. And I go back to 2019, and Kyler Murray was taken number 1 because the Arizona Cardinals had the pick, and it was the Cardinals are going to take a quarterback. They're going to take Kyler Murray. But if you look at the prospect rankings on who was ranked as the best football players in this draft, it was Nick Bosa and Quinnen Williams from Alabama.
Yeah.
And you look up now 3-4 years later and go look at that draft, and the 2 best players from that draft, football players, are Nick Bosa and Quinnen Williams. And there have been some other really good guys that were taken. The linebacker for the Jaguars, Josh Allen's a great player. Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf. There have been a lot of good players from that draft. But I look at it this year, too, and Bryce Young is right there ranked in the top 3 prospects.
Yeah.
But you will always see ranked at least either top 2 or they are 2 of the top 3. You see Will Anderson and Jalen Carter from Georgia.
It's different because, like in the NBA draft, right? You're only drafting for 5 positions, really.
Yeah.
So when you don't see teams often go for like the best overall prospect because they're trying to find a point guard or a whatever.
Yeah.
In the NFL, there's so many spots you got to fill. It makes more sense just to draft the best player available, unless it's a quarterback, and because teams, I guess, get intoxicated by this quarterback thing. This is what you're saying, CJ. They'll go out, they'll draft some crummy quarterback ahead of 50 other dudes who will probably make your team better in the long run because they think, oh well, it's. I mean, you're taking a gamble on the quarterback, right? You're saying, I think if we get the right guy, maybe this guy turns into Peyton Manning, not Jake Locker or whoever he turns into. So I see why teams err on the side of not caution, but err on the side of going crazy for quarterbacks. Doesn't mean they should. And do you think? So my question is: this top 3-4, how many of these top 5 picks do you think we see the quarterbacks go? Do you think C.J. Stroud goes top 3? Does Will Levis go top 4?
I would say I'll extend it out. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
I think 2 of them are going to go in the top 5.
I don't know what the odds are because you can bet on how many quarterbacks get
I was trying to
taken
look.
in
I couldn't find the.
I think 2 of them.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if 4 of the top 10 picks were quarterbacks. It just wouldn't. The way that the game is right now and the way that we value that position as a football playing society, it wouldn't surprise me at all if 4 of the top 10 picks were quarterbacks, maybe 2. I'm with you. 2 of the top 5 were quarterbacks, and then the back half of the first 10 picks were quarterbacks. The Texans, though, they dropped this statement in a really crazy font. It says, "Failure is not an option; it's a necessity. Every misstep is a lesson learned. Every setback a chance to grow stronger. Embrace the struggle and become unstoppable." They're not going to take a quarterback. I would be willing to bet, and they dropped that statement. I would be willing to bet to let everybody know, hey, y'all probably want us to take one of these quarterbacks. We're not going to do it. We're not going to get much better in the short term, but in the long term, that's what our plan is, to build for the long term. I absolutely believe that the Texans, who had J.J. Watt, right, who know what it's like to have a dominant outside linebacker / defensive end, are looking around and saying, hey, we can make this Will Anderson thing work. Yeah. And I'd be willing to bet they take him second overall.
To Roser's point about great football players just getting overlooked, you mentioned Jalen Carter. Like, I think Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith and Will Anderson, to me, are the 3 most impactful defenders available. I know these cornerbacks are getting some talk too, but like Nolan Smith missed half the season last year because he tore his pec. He was the best player on that Georgia defense before he got hurt. then he goes to the combine. He's, 6'3", 240, and he ran a 4.39 40.
What are you supposed to do with that? What are you supposed to do?
Draft him and put him on the end. If I'm the Falcons, there's a mock draft I'm looking at right here on CBS Sports. They have him going 10th overall, Nolan Smith, to the Eagles. I mean, if you're the Eagles, you can put that thing on part of your defense. That talent package is unbelievable. So I get why these quarterbacks are getting talked about the way they're getting talked about. I just don't.
If it's close, I'll soften a bit. If you're saying to yourself, when we look at the top football players in the draft, not team needs, just top football players. We got this linebacker, Will Anderson, who is 5th, and we've got this quarterback who's 12th.
Yep.
If it's close, fine. But there's no way that it's that close with some of these dudes that you guys have named. It just can't be. Because I'm looking at Will Levis, I'm looking at Anthony Richardson in particular, and it's like, how these dudes should not be top 32. These are closer to the 60 range.
It's weird because we're talking about Nolan Smith wowing everyone at the combine, which is what Anthony Richardson did. But with Nolan Smith, you can look at what he did in college and say, there's actual accomplishments and achievements you can use to back it up with. With Anthony Richardson, I can be like, he turned it over 3 times against Georgia right before halftime. I don't know, what are we going off of with him other than incredible athlete?
How well he played against Florida International?
I guess.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Eventually, you've got to look at quarterbacks, especially at the highest level, and say, all right, everybody on their team is much more talented than most of the teams out there in college football. That's why they were able to put up these stats.
Yeah.
And they're just not going to have that talent gap in the pros.
Here's the interesting. So I go back to that 2018 draft. These were the top 6 picks.
Roser loves the 2018 draft.
Top 6 picks.
It was a great year.
Baker Mayfield, Saquon Barkley, Sam Darnold, Denzel Ward, Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson. Who is the best football player out of that group?
Wait, do it again?
Baker Mayfield, Saquon Barkley, Sam Darnold, Denzel Ward, Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson.
Saquon?
Quentin Nelson's the best player. And he's an offensive guard.
Yeah,
and he's the absolute best player. It's not even close. He is the best pure football player out of that entire group. He's a surefire Hall of Famer.
Before we move off the draft, CJ, you root for the Titans, correct?
No.
Oh. Roser, you root for the 49ers.
Yeah, we don't pick till the 3rd round.
Who do you want to see them come out of this draft with?
We don't pick till the late 3rd round. I have no idea. Not paid attention to any of it. I have no idea.
Their first-round pick goes to the Saints, I think.
I don't know. It's from the Trey Lance deal.
Falcons have the 8th pick in the draft.
The 2nd-round pick goes to the Panthers. That's from the Christian McCaffrey deal, which I'm okay with because the odds that we get somebody in the 2nd round better than Christian McCaffrey probably slim to none.
Yeah,
so whatever.
Falcons have the 8th pick in the draft. We could use lots of different positions and lots of help, and I don't know who they're going to take.
Right,
I would love getting either the Georgia defenders. Bijan Robinson's getting mentioned a lot there. It feels kind of
Arthur Smith likes to run the ball.
Yeah,
you're the one who's got the high pick. My team doesn't pick till late tomorrow night. The Grizzlies will be playing at that time.
I've also seen the Falcons talking a lot about the 2 cornerbacks, the kid from Oregon, Gonzalez, and then the kid from Illinois. I can't remember his name. But
yeah,
he's
the little
5'10".
small corner.
Yeah, but you know,
I would think, not a Titans fan, but follow the Titans closely. They're the team in the state. What's up with my man from TCU, the wide receiver?
Yeah, Johnson. Right?
Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
Johnson. What's I would think that you look at that team who is void of a big play wide receiver threat and really struggled offensively last year because they let A.J. Brown kind of just walk in free agency. I would think that they would say, we need a big-time receiver. However, they might be quarterback happy, and they might say, okay, Malik Willis isn't it. We got Ryan Tannehill, but he's only going to suffice for another 1.5, 2 years. We can go out there and get a quarterback like Hendon Hooker, let him sit, let him get healthy, and go do that.
That's the guy to me who has the most value in this draft if you're an NFL team. Hendon Hooker was awesome in college and tore his ACL at the end.
Say let Hendon Hooker sit for a little bit and learn. He's like 29 years old.
He's only 25 and a half.
He's the same age as Stetson Bennett. He's like 25 and a half. He's older
what's Stetson Bennett doing? Still getting drunk somewhere?
He's getting drafted.
And he'll be drunk.
I
Turn
would.
up.
The CBS Sports mock draft has Quentin Johnson going last pick of the 1st round to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, that's unfair. That's just unfair.
That would be awesome.
That's unfair. I don't know why He's not the top receiver. The kid from Ohio State is the top receiver in the class.
Yeah.
But I just, going back and watching him play during the season last year, he was impossible to stop. And when that game got close against Michigan in the playoffs, he just, boom, big play.
He was impossible to stop until he played against Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, a lot of dudes are impossible
there is
to stop
NFL news
Georgia.
we could talk about. Aaron Rodgers finally got traded.
He's a Jet.
How do we feel about that? Are the Jets going to make the playoffs now?
Yes.
That's all everyone talks about.
Yes, and he's better than Zach Wilson. So the Jets have a legit defense.
Yeah.
And they've got Garrett Wilson, young up-and-coming star receiver. He's awesome. They brought in Alan Lazard. They've got Denzel Mims. I'm sure they'll bring in Randall Cobb. That's a prerequisite to play with Aaron Rodgers. To get Aaron Rodgers, you have to have Randall Cobb. Breece Hall, if he can come back from injury, Breece Hall showed a lot as a rookie, was really good before he tore his ACL, but we'll see how you recover from that. But their defense is really good. Their defense is legit. So,
I like the coach, too.
all you got to do is just not screw it up. And his offensive coordinator, while he was a crappy head coach in Denver, Nathaniel Hackett.
He's an offensive is an understatement.
Yeah, but he was a good offensive coordinator with Aaron Rodgers, so there's familiarity there. And so, I mean, it's just tough. You're in a division with the Bills, the Dolphins, and who knows what we'll see from the Patriots. Mac Jones actually has real offensive coaches now this year, so that'll be interesting to see if he's better, and not having two, like a special teams and a defensive guy coach offense for him, which is just weird as hell.
The funny part is that.
And then Tua, we don't know. Does Tua have a concussion by week 3 and then have to retire? He said he contemplated retirement in the offseason. The Bills should be good again, but man, Josh Allen got shakier and shakier as that season went on.
The funny part is Patricia got hired. Did you see that as an assistant?
Yeah.
I can't remember where.
Was it
Philly
Vegas?
or Pittsburgh or somewhere?
Oh, okay. I thought it might have been Vegas.
It was as a defensive coach again.
Yeah.
Which was
It's like, why is that guy your offensive coordinator?
We have futures. You want to look at the futures of these? Where do you think the value is here? Chiefs are. I can't read it. It's too far away.
Plus 600.
To win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And 49ers are plus 700. How do you feel about that, Rosa?
It's fine. Our quarterback situation's so up in arms, I don't know. I would take a look at
Eagles. Plus 850?
No.
The Jets are plus 1,400.
The Bengals 10-1.
How about the Cowboys?
No.
I'd be interested in that one.
I got one for you, CJ. The Detroit Lions plus 2,500.
How? Somebody explain that.
Jared Goff's their quarterback. That ain't happening.
Jared Goff is their
Yeah,
quarterback.
but Dan Campbell's the coach.
Bleep Dan Campbell. He can't keep his dudes from gambling in the facility. They've lost 4 players because of gambling this year.
Yeah, they did. The Jaguars are interesting because Lawrence, I think, is awesome, and Doug Peterson has won a Super Bowl as a head coach. And if Brandon Staley, he fired everybody to save his job.
Yeah.
Man, if the Chargers had gotten a new head coach, I would tell you the Chargers. But with Staley there,
still calling plays.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know, but the Chargers have elite talent.
So the Jets might be good value?
I don't think so. Not at
what
14.
What about
that's too high
to win the division? They're plus 200, right? Is that what it says?
The Jets are plus 200 to win the division, plus 700 to win the conference.
I wouldn't touch that with the Dolphins and the Bills and the Patriots in that division.
The entire
I would.
AFC East is up here.
Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't touch that.
All right.
Yeah. The Dolphins. I know that the thought is, hey, how healthy is Tua going to be? You can't bank on it, but when he is in, they are a Ferrari of a team where they can just go. There's so much team speed.
But every year we do how many games is Tua going to play over under? We know
if he can play 17 game season.
We talked about
13,
athletes who get hurt all the time.
Tua's one of them. If he can play 13 games, that is a team that.
If he plays 13 games,
Didn't he play 13 last year? 14?
There's no way he played 14 games last year. He got concussed so bad, his hands were curled up.
They kept sending him out there laying. It's not like the Dolphins let concussion stop them
I'm looking
from
to see
running
Tua.
It's not like they say, oh,
I feel like Teddy Bridgewater started half
the.
the season. Let's see. Let's look at his stats here.
How many games did he start?
Last season.
I think it was double digit.
Of course, it doesn't show you on Google.
Why wouldn't it?
Last season, it doesn't. It just has a
I'll
list
find
of
it.
games. I'll have
I'll
to look
find
it up during the commercial. All right, look, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We have some nugs. We have some free picks. And we have some MLS stuff that we don't know anything about.
But we still have more to go? I thought we were done.
Oh, XFL playoffs are starting. What are you talking about?
I don't
We're
care.
talking about that. We'll be right back on the Odds Couple presented by Caesar Sportsbook and the Caesar Sportsbook app.
Don't miss the newest Grind City Media podcast, Infield Fly, with me, Rob Fisher, along with Lang Whitaker and Keith Murphy. Comes out each Tuesday, and we'll have the latest on our favorite teams and yours. Regional and Superstation teams, the Cardinals, Braves, and Cubs. While going around the horn to check in on the rest of the league. Be sure to subscribe today at grindcitymedia.com, iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
I set my alarm last night for 4:45 p.m. and I woke up naturally at 6:30 this morning in a tizzy.
Why don't you set separate alarms?
This is my alarm situation.
Go. Why do you have so many bleeping alarms?
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
NLE Choppa is here in studio with us. When was the first time that somebody you really looked up to or another famous rapper paid you mind?
I'm gonna have to go with the most recent to me, and it's just being able to link with Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? I grew up watching Wayne. I grew up listening to Wayne. You know, that's someone you grow up, you look up to.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesar Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Jaren became, at the age of 23, the second youngest winner of the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year award, the fourth 23-year-old to ever win this award. The others are, again, Dwight Howard, Alvin Robinson, and Kawhi Leonard. I have something to say to Jaren Jackson Jr., and that something is, congratulations! Congrats!
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the Odds Couple, presented by Caesar Sportsbook on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Well, I have the wrong live read again here, but we're just gonna do it on our own here. We're tuned in for round one, game 6. Grizzlies at the Lakers.
9:30.
Friday night. 9 o'clock's the pregame show, Grizz Live, hosted by Rob Fisher with Pete Pranica.
Get lit.
Who else? Brevin Knight.
Get lit.
And
With
then,
hashtag with us.
And then the game itself starts at 9:30.
Probably
on
9:45.
Valley Sports. The tip-off's presented by FanDuel. The pregame show is presented by Ford, if I read that correctly. You can also watch these things live. On the Bluff, Fourth Bluff downtown. But tune in. You got to tune in and watch on the app, on the cable, on the TV, whatever.
Yeah.
Tune in and watch our guys and watch us win Game 6, get home for Game 7. You're watching The Odds Couple, presented by Caesar Sportsbook and the Caesar Sportsbook app here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang, he's Johnny, CJ. And now is normally the time when we go to Rob Fisher and we say, give us some nugs.
No.
And he's not here, but guess what, guys? He left me
some nugs.
He left me the nugs.
Let's
Let's go. Here we go. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant have now scored 25 points each in all 5 games so far this postseason. That matches Kobe and Shaq for the longest streak by a pair of teammates to start a postseason in NBA history.
Yeah, those dudes are good at basketball.
The Celtics lost to the Hawks as 13-point favorites Tuesday. Since 1990, the Celtics had never lost a playoff game, being a double-digit favorite. Since 1990, so 25 years, 24 years. It's a long time. They're 7-0. Cleveland is 24-2 when holding opponents under 100 points this season. Both losses are to the Knicks. December 4th and Game 3 of this series, and now they are home. By the way, the Grizzlies are 2-0 in the playoffs when they hold the Lakers under 100 points.
Oh,
so, yeah. Anyway, here we go. Baseball notes. The Red Sox 144 runs this season are their most in the first 25 games of the season since they scored 147 the first 25 games of 2003.
But they're not good.
They're actually okay. They're better than we thought they would be. We thought they were going to be just
god awful.
The Red Sox are all right. Meanwhile, the Yankees have lost 6 straight series openers, which is tied for the longest streak since 2008. The Yankees are 2-6 in series openers.
Cool.
This season.
Fun stuff.
Spencer Strider.
Oh my God! How many freaking nugs does he have?
What a great
Strider?
app. We love apps. Fish Nuggets are great apps.
Spencer Strider has 2. He has now struck out 9+ batters in 9 straight starts, the longest streak in Braves history, and he's tied for the 3rd longest since 1900.
Cool.
That is impressive.
He almost threw a no-hitter the other night.
Good for him.
He had
Where's
it,
Greg
did you
Maddux?
see it against the Marlins? He had a no-hitter through 8. 1 out in the 8th. The guy gets a hit. Gene Segura gets a hit, breaks up the no-hitter, does the bat flip. They were losing 11-0.
I'm
Let
a
him
fan
celebrate.
of that. Let him celebrate.
That's just
Broke up the
like-
no-no. Celebrate it.
We're down 45 to 10 in college football, and I get a deflection and just incomplete.
Yeah.
Incomplete, baby.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Let them dudes celebrate.
Yeah.
I like the celebration is back. I don't know. You guys don't watch a lot of baseball. It is.
No, do
it is-
not.
Celebration is completely back in baseball. Now you're allowed to do things you don't get thrown at anymore for doing. Ronald Acuna the other day got to second base, hit him with the too little.
Oh!
And then on his way home to score a run, he hit the gritty halfway down the third baseline. He grittied across home plate. Next time up, they didn't try to hurt him. They didn't try to injure him. It's okay.
All right.
Baseball is having fun now.
Yeah.
It's so fast you can't mess around anyway. It's like baseball is quick. You got to be on it now if you're a baseball player. Now's when we do the MLS breakdown, and Rob's notes say, "I got this." Rob, take us through the MLS updates.
He's not here.
Oh. All right. Well, there's your MLS update.
That's a great MLS update.
But we do have big news coming
Thanks,
from the
Fish.
XFL. And CJ talked about if your team's losing by a lot and you celebrate. This is not XFL, but USFL. The Memphis Showboats lost 42-2 last weekend. I don't
Got
know
a
if you guys
safety,
heard about
though.
this.
They got a safety.
But I think it was an accident by the other team. I heard the other team's coach saying something like they messed up and they gave them 2. But CJ, the XFL playoffs are upon us, right?
They absolutely are, and unfortunately for the Battlehawks, they didn't make it. I was up in St. Louis
Yeah, I saw you.
for that
Yeah.
game. I didn't go to the game, but I was there. My hotel was around the corner from the stadium. The night before, I'm at Valley Sports Live, little restaurant up there by where the Cardinals play baseball in their ballpark. And I'm sitting there, and I'm speaking of apps. I'm ordering my appetizers, just sitting there waiting on my nachos to come out. And these guys at the bar like, "Hey, we gonna get it done tomorrow?" Like, yes, no, I don't know. What are you talking about? I was, "Oh, you play for the Battlehawks, don't you?" It's like, wait, what?
You said yes, right?
No, I said no.
Why not?
I should have said
They
yes.
wouldn't know.
They wouldn't know. They probably would have bought me something.
They probably think I'm like the quarterback of the Showboats.
The fact that the 7-3 Battlehawks, who were to me
They were good.
consistently the second best team in the XFL,
AJ McCord,
don't get in. With AJ McCarron and Butler and all that defense did. That's astounding to me. They had that game against the Guardians. They needed to beat the hell out of them. They did everything they could to just run up the score, and it wasn't enough. They tied with the Sea Dragons in their division for second, but they went by point differential. Sea Dragons got in. Battlehawks go home. Instead, we get to watch the Renegades play, whose offense is putrid. It is awful. Houston is 2-0 versus Renegades this year. Those 2 games, 48-23 combined score. The Roughnecks are -6 in this game. Go ahead and take the Roughnecks. Arlington, the Arlington Renegades, lowest scoring team in the XFL, averaging 14.6 points per game. I think under is also the play in this one. So take the Roughnecks and the under in this game. On the other side, though, the Sea Dragons and the Defenders.
Now we got a game.
That's going to be a good one. That's going to be the good one. The Defenders are 3-point favorites in that one. Take the over the 48.5 there. The Defenders have scored over 28 points in 8 straight games. The Sea Dragons have the top passing offense in the XFL. That's going to be a fireworks show. The best game in the XFL this year was when these 2 teams faced off the last time they played. 34-33, 1-point victory in favor of the Defenders. These games have been close all season long. The Defenders, I will say this, they are 7-3 against the spread this year. Can June Jones keep DiNucci from messing this up for the Sea Dragons? That's the big question.
That's a great
DiNucci
question.
is such a bad quarterback. He'll just turn the ball over. If he doesn't turn the ball over, they have a chance in this matchup, especially with the Defenders D, who in the last 2 weeks have played the 2 worst offenses in the XFL and allowed both of those offenses to set season highs in total yards in a single game. So Take the defenders, take the Sea Dragons plus the 3.5 there. This game is going to be close.
Yeah.
And take the over the 48.5 in that game, and take the Roughnecks minus a 6 in the other game, and take the under in that
By
contest.
the way, the Roughnecks played the Renegades last week, and they won 25-9. So they won by 16. The line's 6.
Yeah, get them.
There's a free pick for you right there.
Get it.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Do we have any free picks, Roser?
No.
Roser has no free picks. CJ,
No picks.
you got any free picks?
He just gave his picks.
I did.
Yeah, he just gave them.
I have no free picks either,
Yeah.
except that somebody's going to screw up the NFL draft night, and it's going to be hilarious. I don't know who it is. Somebody's going to mess it up. It always happens.
Spicy take I saw. It said the best player in the draft is a running back, and it's not even close. Talking about Bijan Robinson, the running back from Texas.
Should I be nervous if the Falcons draft him 8th? Like, that's high for a running back, right?
If he's awesome, he's awesome.
I thought we've learned, like, you're supposed to not draft running backs real high. You're supposed
Christian
to...
McCaffrey taken high and is special. Saquon Barkley also taken high and is special. If he can do those types of things and stay healthy, that was the thing with those two also.
Yeah.
Running backs just take so many hits. But if they can stay healthy, they're phenomenal. So if you think you're getting one of Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, one of the all-time great running backs, one of those types of guys, and Bijan, and I see no reason why you shouldn't, I think you absolutely go and take him.
All right.
I'd take Bijan over Will Levis right now.
Oh, yeah, me too. I mean, but I would take Roser over Will Levis right now.
Roser.
You don't want that.
All right, we made it through the odds couple presented by Caesar Sportsbook app. Fish, hopefully, is back here next week. Maybe he's not. The Grizz keep winning like this. Who knows? We'll only know next week. So we're going to leave you with a cliffhanger. We appreciate you tuning in and watching us every week. That's CJ. That's Roser. I'm Lang. The music's going to start eventually, I know, so I don't have to keep talking forever.
It's there.
There it is. All right, I'm going to get us out of here. You're watching The Odds Couple on Grind City Media, and we'll see you next week.
Listening to The Odds Couple, presented by Caesar Sportsbook on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Tune in next time with Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.